It's a brand new year. It's lockdown 3. That can only mean one thing. It's time for M&A TV. Hi guys, and welcome to M&A TV Season 2. I'd like to start things off by saying to you all, I hope you had an amazing Christmas and wishing you all a very happy new year. I hope 2021 is better for all of us. Now, let's take a look at what's coming up in today's show. Fran will be showing you a new possible location. I'll be talking to some fellow paranormal investigators. Chris will be talking about a real paranormal encounter. And Jody will be talking ghosts in the news. But first, here's Chris with a 2020 review.
Well, what a year 2020 has been. I'm pretty sure that many people would be glad to see the back of it, and are hoping we will get back to some kind of normality soon. For us, it has been rather a mixed year. We've had some great moments that counteract all the disappointment of lockdowns and viruses. But also, a lot of what we had planned has had to have been put on the back burner for the time being. But we won't dwell on what could or should have been, and instead we will take a look back at everything we loved in 2020. We'll start right back in January. After taking a few weeks off over Christmas, we were keen to get back in the swing of things and wrap up our season 3 of our investigations. The first location we investigated was Mitchell Stone Circle. We had decided spur of the moment to go there, and unfortunately chose a bitterly cold, windy night, to say the least. It was an interesting location, but the wind meant that most, if not all, of our experiments weren't viable due to the disruption in sound. And with zero shelter, we quickly decided to call it a night. We had planned to go back there, but with all the restrictions in travel and the lockdowns, we never got the chance. So if you'd like to see us go back there, let us know in the comments. Next on the list is Daniel's Mill. We had very much been looking forward to this investigation, and we took every piece of kit we own, and the mill didn't disappoint. We caught quite a few interesting responses on both spirit board and pendulum. In fact, we enjoyed it so much that we went back later in the year and were joined by another team where we conducted a social distanced investigation. But it was more for our enjoyment though, and we didn't record much footage. Our final investigation of season 3 was Awesome Sauce in Shifnal. This came about as I had booked in to have a tattoo with one of Shell's old school friends, Fran, who owns Awesome Sauce. And while I was there, she was telling me all about the ghostly goings on that happened in her shop. A day or so later, Shell messaged her and asked if she could let us come over and investigate, and luckily she agreed. Again, this location did not disappoint. We have done various investigations in the shop since that first night, and we plan to hopefully continue to investigate and learn more about what is actually going on there. We are convinced that there could potentially be some kind of portal in the shop bringing spirits in. And that was season 3 wrapped up, just in time, as soon after we went into lockdown. As a team, we were disappointed that we had to rearrange or cancel many of our planned investigations. But we didn't want to just do nothing. We thought that it would be the perfect time to bring out some new content while people were stuck in their homes with nothing to do. And so M&A TV was born. We absolutely loved making these videos, and it also gave us a means to connect further with other teams and individuals by having them take part. This included Rory of Project Entity. M&A TV connected us, and we have grown a great friendship with their team, and we've had the pleasure of joining them on a handful of investigations over the summer months when we were allowed to. Morton Corbett, Dow's Graveyard, and Graiseley Hall were just some of the locations we joined the boys, and we hope that we can get together with them again soon. Lockdown also brought us 2 haunted objects. Firstly, Mary, followed by Crystal. You will have seen them throughout M&A TV and on various investigations too. As she was the first, Mary will always be my favourite, and Shell's. But which doll do you like the best? Later in the year, with things seemingly looking better with the pandemic, we were out and about once again recording for season 4. The Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre in Hinckley was of course the highlight of the season so far. The centre is a very interesting location and is filled to the brim with haunted objects. We highly recommend that you head over there when it is safe to do so and check it out for yourselves. The best thing to happen to us in 2020 though has to be Fran joining the team. Over the years we have had various members come and go, and there had always seemed like there was something missing. I can honestly say though that Fran joining the team has made us finally feel complete. We have thoroughly enjoyed working with her the past few months and learning from her. Each member of our small teams brings something unique to the team, and I wouldn't change it at all. To summarise, 2020 wasn't quite what we had hoped it would be, but in some ways it was so much more. We made new allies, new friends, and enjoyed everything we got to do.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Ghosts in the News. Now, the story that I'm going to tell you now comes from quite a well-known newspaper, which I can't say for legal reasons. And it was an online article that I was just perusing. I thought, I'll have a quick look at that, and it's that because it sounded intriguing. Basically, it's a story about a guy, and he has a bit of an experience in his home. He's sitting in his lounge and he hears some shuffling of clothes and, just noise coming from his kitchen. Now, he knows for a fact that, it can't be anybody else because he's the only one in his flat. So he goes and has a little investigate. Can't see anything. So he takes a picture. And this picture is the one he took. Yeah, have a good look at that. You can see a figure peering around the door like that. Just at him, just looking at him. This guy overreacts completely, in my view anyway, because he's now trying to find somewhere else to live. Now I know for a fact that if it was Shell, Fran, Chris or me, I'd quite relish the fact that I had something else living with me and I would use my equipment, or if I didn't have any equipment, I would... if I was one of you guys, if any of you didn't have any equipment, I'd find someone with some equipment and try and find a bit more about this entity that's in your home and see what it wants. Just find out more about it. So that's definitely what I would do. Definitely. So, how about if you comment below, let us know what you would do in this situation. I'm sorry it's a bit of a short video. I just hope you enjoyed it, and because I think this guy overreacted completely by trying to find somewhere else to live. So make sure you have a listen. Listen out in your homes. See if you can hear any weird stuff happening. So we'd like to, on our Facebook page, if you want to leave a message for us saying what you've experienced and stuff like that, and we will include it. We will try and include it in the next episode of M&A TV. So I'd like to wish you good night and stay safe, everybody.
Hello everyone, this is Fran from M&A, and we're just here today, well I'm here today in the centre of Oakengates because I'm going to take you to a fun location I found, which I think might be a good possibility for the team to do an investigation. So let's get to that location. So here I am at the site that used to be Rose Cottage on Hadley Road, leading from Oakengates through to Hadley and Wonbridge. This used to be a really nice, picturesque little cottage until it got pulled down probably a couple of years ago and has been left derelict. There are some planning permission notices that at some point they are going to erect 4 houses in its place. But I don't know, I just get a vibe whenever I come past this place, so I think it'd be a really good place for the team, or even mine and Shell's duo, to do an investigation here at some point. I do get a strong sense of, sort of very much a family home at some point, and you can tell by the remaining walls that it would have been a decent sized dwelling when it was standing. Not entirely sure on the age of the property, we'll have to do some research, but don't want to do that research until we've done an investigation, so that any research we do doesn't corrupt our data or put subconscious ideas into our heads before investigating. So just going to pause the video here. Although the property seems to have been fenced off, it is actually really easy to access because they've put a fence at the very front and not fenced it all the way around, and there is a clearing to the side which I would say can easily be accessed, but as you can see, people have been using it as a fly tipping site, unfortunately. So we're going to have a little venture around and find a safe way, and there you go. It is easy to access into here. I just want to come in and see if I do get any vibes, and the whole point of me doing this video is to get people's ideas, like whether they think it's a good or a bad idea to try and do an investigation here sort of for the evening or night time. So now I'm actually sort of stood in what would have been the cottage itself. You can tell it's been a few years since anything's been here because of how grown over the moss and other things are. You can tell how old-fashioned the cottage would have been as well by the fact there's a, well, I presume it's a well that would have been part of the cottage. There's a water storage system, so it's a really traditional style of cottage. I don't know why, but when I came past here a few nights ago, I also got the sense that there might have been a child born actually inside the cottage. There was sort of a home birth here. That's one of the things I kind of picked up or got a sense of. As I said, it would have been like a fairly decent sized dwelling. I'd probably say at least two to three bedroomed. Sort of a small family home. You can see here the tiles that I would have said they look like kitchen tiles. So, I mean, we're here, that's my son Aidan there, we're here sort of in the daytime, and I'm getting kind of sensations already. So I think at night time there'd be quite a bit to pick up on, and obviously it's one of those we'd have to try and investigate here before building work starts and it becomes something completely different. So it'd be nice to get in whilst we can. So I want your opinions. Good idea, bad idea? Also, who should investigate here? Should it be a solo vigil? If so, who should be sent in after dark? Should we do it as a duo, or should it be a full team investigation? So let us know what you think, guys. Love and light. Bye for now.
Hi guys. Earlier in the show, Chris gave you a rundown of what happened during 2020. I'm here to tell you of what we have planned during 2021, when restrictions have been lifted. We'll also try and bring you content complying with the current restrictions. We are hoping to bring you to some of our locations that we've been planning to do, but haven't been able to do because of the pandemic. The main one being Burlish Top, because you voted for it. It's been something that we've wanted to do for a while. We've been there, we've scouted the location, we know what we want to do. So, you know, that's the big, you know, at the top of the list. However, we have got a few locations that we're not going to tell you about. Going to keep it a bit of a secret. During our time investigating, we have on numerous occasions joined forces with our good friends Nathan and Brian from the Paranormal Detectives, which gave us a good idea for a series involving joining fellow paranormal teams in several collaborations. If any teams want to get involved, please get in contact with us. Mary and Crystal, our haunted dolls, will be making more of an appearance as we delve into their world, finding out more about them. Hopefully, once restrictions allow, we'll be planning a few short road trips to Wales and other parts of the UK. Shell and Chris will also be taking a special trip to celebrate their birthdays in October. Hopefully, when the pandemic is old news. More M&A, TV, quizzes and ghostly tales are also on the way. Please let us know if there's anything you want us to do this year too.
Bye! Okay, guys,
Yeah.
Fran and I are here right now. We are joining together over a Zoom meeting because we can't actually get together at the moment. But we have got a little bit of announcement to tell you all. So without further ado, I'm going to pass you on to Fran, who's going to tell you all the details.
Hey, so you may have received an invite to like a new paranormal team, Coven Paranormal. Well, guess who that team is? It happens to be myself and Shell, because we've decided to branch out a little bit and do a little bit of a side project, just the two of us, doing paranormal investigations and loads of paranormal stuff. It doesn't mean that we've left M&A and that we've ditched the guys. That's very not the case. It's just that they're going to be busy with their own side projects as well. So we'll basically be doing a heck of a lot more over the two teams.
Yeah. Like Fran said, we're not going to leave M&A.
Shall say a bit more?
We'll still be carrying on with all the M&A stuff and going out with the boys, but we've all got different things planned. The lads have got things they want to get on with, so it meant that there'd be less time where we would all be able to get together, but me and Fran were still keen to get out and do as much investigating as we can. So we thought, what the hell, let's just do it ourselves, and we can't very well go out as M&A without M&A. So we thought we'd start this new venture and see how it goes. If you haven't already, like Fran says, we have made various social media pages. We have Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So please go and give them all a like and a follow and subscribe and all that fun. But I think this new venture is going to be pretty good. So Fran, what are you most looking forward to, and what do you think would be good about it just being the two of us rather than the four of us?
I think it's going to be easier to get into small. It's just the two of us, and we might find that there's kind of more atmosphere in certain places if there's less bodies. And also, we won't have screamers on the team.
Yeah, I was going to say that it might as well, because there's just two of us. I think when there's a few of you, it's sort of I can't remember what the saying goes like, but like when there's a few of you, you feel a bit braver. But when it's just going to be the two of us in some of these creepy locations, it is going to get a bit scary. And I was going to say that we, especially being as we wouldn't have like the backup of the two men of the group, but then in reality, I don't think Jody could punch his way out of a paper bag. And so it's not like we're going to be missing our bodyguards. But yeah, I think that'll be interesting to see how we deal with that. I mean, we've both done little bits of solo every now and again, but the rest of the team has always been close by if we need them. So it is going to be a bit unnerving for the first few investigations, being completely on our own and whatnot, without anyone else. But yeah, hopefully we'll get a lot more activity as well because there's less of us. So that could help. But then again, they say that the more there is, the more energy you're supplying, then you get results. So we'll just have to see how it goes, and I'm quite looking forward to it. So my internet connection is apparently unstable again. It's because there's so many devices connected to the internet in this house. Like about 5 laptops, 4 Xboxes, PC, about 6 phones. There's only 4 of us that live here.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it's
I was
really
say you
good.
got the neighbours using yours as well.
Yeah, probably. But when we used to live where we used to live, a lot of Gina's friends would come and sit outside in our garden. I'd be like, why are they sitting in our garden? And Gina's like, oh, I gave them the internet password. They're connected to our internet. So I'd be like, right, got to change the internet password again. But luckily, they don't do that anymore. We've moved. But yeah, so I think it's going to be really good to get out and start investigating with just me and Fran. And one thing that I was keen to do is maybe give each other challenges. So things that all maybe put us out of our comfort zone a little bit, and maybe we can get some of our viewers to get involved with that and set challenges for us. I think that would be a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
think it's certainly be fun to see what people suggest.
yeah. I bet Nathan's got a few good ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is mine and Fran's big news.
Probably reel off a huge list.
Yeah. Give us a like, give us a follow. We really do appreciate all your support, and like I said, we aren't leaving M&A. We're still going to be here doing bits and bobs with M&A as well. It's just we'll be doing this also, so we'll be multitasking because we're women and we can do that. Not like men. So bye from me and Fran for now.
Bye.
Hello everyone. I hope you're all well and safe. It's good to be back. Now tonight's tale comes from a friend of mine in America. And this comes from a time when he was settling down with his now wife. The house he lives in is quite old. It has some history to it. And he was telling me this tale. It is from a while back, but I do still remember it. It's actually something I wanted to include on last season of M&A TV. I never got around to it though. But the story. He said it comes from a time a while after we moved into this house. I said everything was going fine until after one night. I said we were having this celebration. He said, I can't remember what it was for, but we were having a party. And a couple of my friends brought over a Ouija board. He said, myself, I'm religious, so I'm a bit unwilling to do such things. He said, it's not something I like screwing around with. He said, but they talked me into it. I said, and I gave it a try. He said the board would give only one response. They would try and try and try, and eventually the board would respond with one word. Knock. And that would be it. There would be no other response. There would be no other message, just knock. He said it was a bit weird. He said, I thought maybe one of my friends was having a laugh. So I didn't think any more of it. He said, up until the next night. So, the next night, he was in bed and he'd be woken by this sound. He was telling me that
as he woke up and he heard the last of the knock, he said, I couldn't figure out who would be knocking at my door at this time of night. He said, because obviously that's what it was. He said, so I would go downstairs and look at the front door to find no one there. No one even remotely in the area. So I was confused, but I went back to bed. He said, but unfortunately it wouldn't just be the once. It would keep happening night after night after night. The same thing would happen. I'd be awoken by these knocks. And I would go downstairs to find nobody at the front door. He said after a while it became maddening. He said, so I started speaking to my friends, my neighbours, even going into town to see if anybody would be able to help me, knew anything about it, but I would get nothing. None of my friends or neighbours, none of the townsfolk knew anything about this. It wasn't happening anywhere else. They didn't understand what was going on. He said, so fearing that somebody might be targeting me, I took the matter to the police. And they said there's not much they can really do about it at the moment. He said, so the best thing for him to do would be to report it immediately upon it happening. He said that maybe we might be able to catch any persons after the act and put a stop to it. So the next night, it happened again. My friend would go down to the door to see no one there. He would pick up the phone and call the station, informing them that this person had come to the door again, had knocked on the door, but he couldn't find them. So eventually, after a little while, a knock would come at the door again. This time it would actually be a policeman saying that he'd been instructed to come to the area to patrol around to find a possible prowler. After a short conversation with my friend, after having everything explained, the officer explained to him that he couldn't find anybody. He said, I'd circled the block many times, going down many other streets trying to see if I can find somebody walking around. Anybody up to no good, anybody looking suspicious. He said, but the problem was, he said, there was nobody. He said, every street I went down was absolutely silent. Not a soul in sight. He said, so there's not much I can do. He said, the only thing you can do is keep reporting it. And he said, in hopes that we can catch this person in the act. But it would keep happening, and there'd be no one there, and no one to catch. So after a while, my friend had had enough. He decided to take matters into his own hands. So one night, he got himself a camera and set it up in his front room, pointing out the doorways towards the front door. He said, at this angle, the camera would be able to see the front door, and with the porch light on, I'd be able to see outside. He said, but the next morning, what I saw was horrifying. He said, I'd watch the camera, I would hear the knocks, but there was no one at the front door. He said it took a few nights for me to realise that it wasn't coming from the front door. So I decided to sit downstairs myself through the night and wait for the sounds myself. So he did. upstairs with his camera. He would video it, and he would hear knocks to realise that they were coming from deeper inside the house. He said it took a few nights more for me to figure out that the noises were actually coming from an old storage cupboard. He said, I realised that this house was quite old. He said it had been renovated and rebuilt and redecorated a few times. He said, but it almost sounded like it was coming from underneath the house. He said, so the next morning, after I realised this, I decided to rip up the cupboard's floorboards, only to find a set of stairs. He said, upon the stairs were a small set of muddy footprints coming up towards the door. And he said it wasn't as if they were old. He said the worrying thing was that they looked quite new. And even worse was that the footprints never went back down. And as I looked past the footprints and I looked down the stairs, I could see an old, dirty dolly sitting somewhere near the bottom of the stairs. He said, and just to top it off, as I shone this flashlight around the cellar, there were no holes, no gaps, no way into this cellar from the outside, and certainly no way out. He said the next day I called the local priest to come and bless the house, to maybe help any spirit that might have been trapped, unable to go anywhere, to move on, not realising what had happened to them. He said I never found out who it was or what happened. He said all I know is that after the priest had come and done his job, the knocking had stopped. What would you do to rip up those floorboards, to see those small muddy footprints coming up the stairs and just stopping, never going back down, to see that dolly and to realise that there was no way out of that cellar? What would you do? Scary enough for me. Thanks for listening. Good night.
The rune alphabet was actually created in Germany by Norse Vikings, and it has been developed as early as AD 100. The alphabet is known as Firvark, named after the first 6 letters. There are 3 main forms: the Elder Firvark with 24 characters, predominantly used from AD 100 to 800, the younger Firth Ark of 16 characters, which was used from AD 800 and through the Viking Age until 1200, and the 33 character Anglo-Saxon Firth Ark, used mostly in England. The younger Firth Ark was Latinised during the Christian era in Scandinavia and became the medieval Firth Ark. Runes were traditionally carved on stone, bone, antler, wood and metal. Runestones were big rocks covered in inscriptions of runes, usually in memory of great men or women. Over 3,000 runestones are located in Scandinavia. Runic inscriptions are found on grave markers, cenotaphs and memorials, more often than any other object. However, runic inscriptions are also found on cliff walls, rocks and buildings, art and craft, trade markers, magical charms and talisman, religious objects and weapons, swords, for instance. Runes had been thought to be mainly used for runestones and other memorials for religious purposes. However, an important excavation in Bergen, Norway in 1950 revealed that runes were often used for business and everyday use as well. Runic inscriptions expressing prayers, love letters, jokes and gags and personal messages were found in quantity there. However, runes are rarely found on manuscripts. While a runic alphabet can be used for writing a document, that wasn't their purpose, as the Norse culture was that of an oral culture. Rather, the Firth Ark was used for memorial purposes or to identify an object as for magical reasons, or cursing, or healing. Contrary to popular belief, the Vikings were not illiterate, as most people could understand the runes. While tales and songs were all memorised and unwritten, they would have no use for a memorial stone if no one could understand the inscription on it. Since there were thousands of runestones, it stands to reason that people could understand the runic inscriptions. The historical origins of the runes came from the days when German war bands raided people living south of them, in present-day Italy. Scholars debate whether the runes were derived from an old Italic alphabet. The German war bands would have brought back the alphabet from those raids to the south. The Norse people, however, believed that Odin had discovered the runes as he hung himself on the world tree for 9 days. During his ordeal, Odin fasted and stared into the well of Erd, where he perceived the runes. Runes, beside their use as written code, have magical properties. Runes were often used in magical charms for protection and for healing. They were also used to lay out a curse. Runes themselves were thought to carry magical power. Present-day rune casting involves a specific question, then interpreting the meaning of the symbols inscribed on the set of stones, or sometimes sticks or cards. These techniques for selecting stones can be varied. A single stone can be chosen from a bag in answer to a question, or a number of stones, usually somewhere between 3 and 9, can be laid out in a variety of patterns similar to a tarot spread for interpretation. Or a handful of stones can be drawn, then cast onto a special cloth, where unique meanings can be assigned to the runes and face up and face down positions. Choosing a method of rune casting is largely a matter of personal taste.
Okay guys, so earlier in the show Chris shared with you some of our highlights from 2020 and Jody revealed some of our plans for 2021. Well, I got in touch with a few of our paranormal allies and asked them those very questions. What was their highlight from 2020 and what are they most looking forward to in 2021? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Hi guys, it's Rory from Project Entity. I hope you've all had a fantastic Christmas and you've managed to put your feet up and enjoy some festivities. 2020, what a year. It's just been crazy, hasn't it? Absolutely crazy. Even with all the restrictions and that, you know, we've been able to get out and do some investigations when it's been safe to do so and when we've adhered to, you know, guidelines and rules. One of my favourite moments from this year is probably when we went to Wolverhampton. We investigated Graysley Old Hall with M&A Paranormal. We did a team share there. Absolutely fantastic, fantastic investigation. Had some possible poltergeist activity in the cellar, so hopefully I can send a link over to Shell and the guys at M&A, and you know, if they can upload it, you guys can see it and make your own conclusions of that, really. But yeah, it's been great, you know, forming, you know, new friendships and bonds with teams. You know, it's been really good. In regards to 2021, hopefully, you know, when restrictions ease and we can get out again, it's safe to do so, and we can investigate in a responsible manner. Yeah, we're going to be probably doing a lot more team shares, guys at M&A, hopefully the paranormal detectives as well, and various other teams that we've made friends with in the local community. It's been fantastic. But yeah, maybe go further afield. I've got quite a few locations that I've been to before, and it'd be nice to share with, you know, some new people. And I think towards the summer, hopefully, maybe a bit of a road trip, if it's safe to do so, of course. We've been eyeing up quite a few historical places in Norfolk, so maybe a couple of days there, travel up and down the country and see what we can get. But you know, all in all, I hope everyone has a fantastic start to the new year, and you know, stay as safe as you can, guys, and you know, hopefully this will soon be over. Take care.
What's been the best thing about 2020? It's finished. I reckon that'll be about it. But paranormally, I guess for me and Sally, it has to be the discovery of the Lee Motel. We haven't done a lot because we've been obviously locked away like everyone else. But the Lee Motel in Weymouth, my God, the evidence we got from there, mind blowing, mind blowing. I've had the best spirit communication I've ever had on the radio. The light communication, the thing is, every time we go there, it's different. So, different types of evidence, different days. Can't wait to go back, but obviously now we're in tier 4, they're in tier 3. We ain't going nowhere, so that's the end of that for now. 2021. What are we looking forward to? Well, first of all, I want to find out whether these injections are safe or not, or whether the conspiracy theorists are right and everyone's going to turn into flesh-eating zombies. I don't know. I should guess I was just sitting and wait and see if I lock the door, they can't come in, can they? Paranormally, deep investigation of the Lean once it shuts, which is not obviously going to be now, October, November. In the meantime, we've got the Eclipse in Winchester, which is exclusive to Keep It Real. Not been done properly since Peter Underwood in the 1920s, so looking forward to that. And apart from that, just getting out, doing a bit of filming, and hopefully catching up with all you guys again real soon. Anyway, that's the end of this. I hope this is okay. If not, let me know and I'll redo it. I might even have a shave one day. Alright then, guys. See you soon. All the best. Happy New Year and all the best for 21. Bye. Bob, Sally. Keep it real.
Hi, it's Jody from ESM Paranormal, and my paranormal highlight of last year was when I was doing an interview with M&A Paranormal Live regarding a paranormal exchange site we had
and the object I was holding in my hand, which was like an elephant, which isn't even green, suddenly decided to glow green while we was holding it live on air. And what I'm most looking forward to this year is getting out there investigating, hopefully with M&A. We was meant to meet up last year, but unfortunately we didn't. And I look forward to doing that sometime this year.
Hi guys, it's Nathan here from the Paranormal Detectives. My favourite bit of 2020. It's a tough question. It hasn't been a very good year, has it? Probably the Pluckley road trip that me and Brian did, the Halloween road trip. We just had a really fun time. I know things didn't go great paranormal wise. We couldn't investigate that much, but we just had a really good time. I enjoyed making the video. And we got back the day before another lockdown started, so I just feel like we really let our hair down, had a really good time, enjoyed it, and yeah, it was an experience. Love to go back. So yeah, I'd definitely say Pluckley Halloween Adventure was was definitely my favourite part of 2020. Things I'm looking forward to in 2021. Not getting older. I don't look forward to that ever. Don't know really. We've got a lot of plans. We've got road trips that we were thinking of doing, different ideas. We've got loads of venues we're waiting to go to, collabs we're waiting to do, but obviously at the moment it's hard to say what we're going to be allowed to do and what we're not going to be allowed to do. First and foremost, obviously we're just going to be hoping that everyone's staying safe and trying to stay safe ourselves. Yeah, so I don't really know what to say about 2021. I don't know what we're looking forward to the most. Getting back to normal, really. Getting back to normal. Seeing family. I personally haven't seen my parents or family properly since March, so that's tough going. I know Brian's struggling as well with various things. Just getting back to normal, seeing friends, seeing family, and getting back out investigating. That'll be good. Be good. Anyway, I'm glad to see M&A TV back. It kept me sane last time during lockdown, and I'm glad it's here again. Myself and Brian, we're going to try and do what we can with our mini series and stuff to help you guys keep ticking over as well. So yeah, and I hope everyone has a much better 2021 than we did 2020. Cheers, guys.
Hi M&I Paranormal and all your viewers. It's Joanne Clare from Birmingham Ghost Hunters. Thanks for asking us for taking part in your question and answers this week. Question 1. What was the best thing that has happened to our team in 2020? In 2020, we have been receiving a high level of calls from the public, which has increased for us to do more private house investigations and home blessings, which has brought us to finding more team members to cover more areas. Question 2. What are we most looking forward to in 2021? Well, in April this year, we have been chosen for an interview for the university, which will be filmed live as they will join us at a new private location. The team are pretty geared up for that, to be honest, because it's a new location in a completely different area. So we're looking forward to that this year, if the lockdown is lifted. Thanks for asking us to take part. Do take care and stay safe wherever you are. Bye.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for in this episode of M&A TV. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you leave a comment too. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Happy New Year, guys. See you next time.